Come on, y'all, let's do this thing here. And my name is Judah Buddha. I am here representing the Rotohackers, your unauthorized source of fantasy football news and entertainment. I just want to jump right into the news because I don't have very much time. And I have a new stinger. It's called... That's right. It's called injuries. And so just to go through the injuries real quick, Joe Burrow is out probably about 3 months. Joe Burrow out. Is that going to affect his, is it going to chase? I don't know. And Higgins, I think it'll probably... So we'll talk about on the waiver wire, we'll talk about who's coming in for him. Jake Brown, who actually came in and threw a ton of yards and actually, I think, ran in a touchdown, threw a couple touchdowns, gave a lot of looks, a lot of passes to Chase. So I think probably every time he's come in, he's been pretty good for fantasy. They have a really hard schedule coming up. I believe they have the Packers. They have Minnesota, Packers, and Denver in, I don't know what order, maybe that order. And that's a really tough those are really tough matchups. We'll see. But anyway, so he's out for though he'll probably come back to play some divisional stuff, maybe keep them 500. But Jake Brown replaces him. He may be droppable. You could probably come back later and pick him up. You can put him on your injured reserve, your IR spot. Remember, you have the guys you're playing, then your bench, usually about 6 people on your bench, and then you have an extra little hidden bench called the IR in case you're new to fantasy football. And you can put any injured player if he's out or IR. You can put him in there. In some cases, you can put him for other things. Let's see. Also, speaking of Minnesota, JJ McCarthy has a high ankle sprain. He could be out 2 to 4 weeks. He wasn't looking great. But Carson Wentz is going to be coming in for him. Good old Carson Wentz. I have a place in my heart for Carson Wentz. He'll probably keep them alive. I think he'll do just as good as JJ McCarthy. But Carson Wentz coming in for him. Will he? Yeah, he will keep all the pass catchers happy. Well, we'll get to other injuries. I'm just looking at quarterbacks right now. Jaden Daniels also has a knee. Looks like week 3 status is in doubt, but I think he'll probably put a brace on and go in. The guy does not like not being in the game. Marcus Mariota might replace him. We'll see. I think he'll probably just tough it out. He's a tough guy. But I think it was like a meniscus strain or something like a... Oh, do I have any information on what it actually was? It was like some kind of like a ligament strain. It wasn't a break or anything, so that should be fine. Brock Purdy's still out. I think he has what I forgot to say what Joe Burrow had is it's like the ligament in the toe, like cut or strained. I think for Joe Burrow it was broken. For it's called turf toe. And for Brock Purdy, though, I think it was more strained. I think he might be back after a couple of weeks if you're looking for Joe Purdy. Mac Jones will be taking his spot. Took his spot this last weekend. Did okay. Justin Fields had a protocol. People worried he might not come back in for week 3. Not sure yet. Tyrod Taylor would be taking his place. Tyrod Taylor is kind of like Justin Fields light, but not that light. They're about the same. Okay, Michael Penix. I didn't even know this. Michael Penix He doesn't have an injury. He just did terrible. Okay, so that is the quarterbacks. For running backs, Austin Eckler is out for the rest of the season with a torn Achilles. Jackery Bill, they call him Bill. Crowley Merritt is going to be the lead back. I told people to pick him up. I picked him up anywhere possible. I doubt you can get him off the waiver wire. Yeah, you can look for him. Jackery Crowley Merritt. So this is for Washington. He's the running back. Austin Eckler with Achilles for the rest of the year. Okay, so going back to Minnesota, it looks like Aaron Jones, the running back, has a hamstring injury out, expected at least a week, but he's sort of older and not doing great. And usually older guys, and by older, I mean he's like 29 or 30, but he might not heal as well. And what is it called? Hamstrings are nothing to mess with. He might be out longer or might see a dip in usage come week 4. So Jordan Mason will take over for him. Jordan Mason, trade for him if you can. He actually had a big game this week, or big enough game this weekend. It'd be hard to trade for him. Jalen Wright still out for Miami. Ollie Gordon would be the one who would take his place as the backup, though. We're talking about Achane has had great games, big games for fantasy. But if you have Achane on your team, get some Ollie Gordon just in case. And so that does it for wide receivers. For running backs. For wide receivers, we have Jaden Reed is out for Green Bay. He has a broken collarbone. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. This might mean more looks for Wicks or Romeo Dobbs or Matthew Golden. Matthew Golden had a terror. He's just not connecting with Love. Romeo Dobbs, we're gonna talk about him in the waiver wire. Xavier Worthy may be back next week, but he's might see a little bit of a dip in production as he might have to wear something or get like a shot for his shoulder. He had a dislocated shoulder. Christian Kirk might be back soon. I forgot to put him on the waiver wire in discussion, but he is somebody to take a look at. Might be back for week 3, leaning active week 3. He is the wide receiver for Houston, somebody who is he's badly needed. Houston's not doing well. It started 0-2 this season. Chris Godwin is going to be coming back soon. Looks like he will be activated. It looks expected week 4. So, but waiver wire, somebody to keep an eye on. You could get him, put him on your waiver wire right now. Probably he's still out. And so if you don't have him on your waiver wire, or if you don't have him on your bench, or your IR, look for him on the waiver wire. Could be out there. Okay, so that does it for let me know in the comment section if I missed anything that you saw. So next, we want to talk about the waiver wire. What does this mean? Oh, look, we already have. Would you trade Ladd, Rome, and Monty for Derrick Henry? And Derrick Henry and Warren. I have Nico, Devontae, DK, Olave, and my other RB is Hampton. Oh, would you trade So I guess Ladd, Romadunze, Ladd McConkey, Romadunze, Monty for Derrick Henry. Yes, I would. You already have Nico, Devontae, Adams, I'm supposing, and DK. Yes, absolutely. Now, the problem with Derrick Henry is that he is going to go down in production as the season goes on. It's just always, he just wears down towards the end of the year. I think they start to save him for the playoffs. They need him badly for the playoffs. So just, I mean, I would love to have him on my team. He had a horrible performance this last weekend. I think he's going to bounce right back. Thanks for asking, JB6997, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's move on to the waiver wire, and we have. There you go. So let me change our background music to something a little bit more up here. Let's go. We are going to look at some players. All right. So first off, I want to talk about quarterbacks, because we already talked about, those are the major injuries we had. Let's go back so I can remind myself. Yes, we have Joe Burrow going out. So coming in for him is going to be Jake Brown. Do I have a picture of you, Jake Brown? Yes, I do. Jake Browning. Sorry, just calling him Jake Brown. Jake Brown is going to be coming in for him. He would be somebody to pick up if you need some immediate production and your waiver wire is scant. You're welcome, JB. Thank you for tuning in. Especially if you are in a super flex is if you have, one of those flex positions where you can put in a wide receiver, a tight end, running back, or super flex is where you can put in also a QB, which you could get, he got 20 points, over 20 points for fantasy in many leagues this last weekend. So definitely somebody to pick up, because nobody's going to have him. This is I would spend probably 50% of your fab bucks on him. I would definitely spend priority if you are in Superflex, or if you badly need a quarterback. Now, I'm actually looking at somebody else. I badly need a quarterback. It's not a Superflex league. I am looking at this man, Daniel Jones. I like how the quarterbacks, these white quarterbacks, have some pretty white bread names. Daniel Jones, I think, will come in, he's been in for a while now and has thrown no picks, has actually led the Giants to a record. I think they have had 2 games with no picks, just been great. Oh, here we go. I am 0-2 in a 2 QB league. Yeah, yikes. Daniel's Q. Purdy out. Quarterbacks are Ward. Rattler's good. Henderson, Monty, Brian. Oh man. I don't think Brian Robinson Jr. Oh, that's not very good. Merritt, Browning, Mac Jones are on the waiver wire. Merritt, Browning. I guess you mean Jake Browning. On the waiver wire. Who would you prioritize? Well, I'm talking about it right now. I would prioritize Browning. Jake Browning. Mac Jones would work. Actually, I kind of like Rattler, to be honest with you, for fantasy productivity. But I would put Browning ahead of everybody. He's going to get plenty of production, although I do going to come back to the fact that he's going to have a terrible schedule coming up. A lot of tough defenses, but that might mean that he just tries to throw his way out of it, or gets some garbage time points. Okay, let's get back to the waiver wire. So we talked about, I would take Daniel Jones over everybody. I'm going to go out and get Daniel Jones. He's not on your waiver wire if you are in a super flex. Jake Browning is probably on your waiver. I'd pay 50% for him. Now, Carson Wentz is also coming in to take over for JJ, and I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Wentz. He throws it like a maniac. He knows football. His football IQ is through the roof. But for some reason, he just has a hard time getting fantasy production. I don't know. I would keep an eye on him. If you're absolutely desperate, get him. Or if Rattler's on the waiver wire, get Rattler if you're desperate. But Browning's the guy I'd go for. He's going to have major production. Okay, so that's quarterbacks. Let's get through. So running backs. Running backs, I told you guys to get Quinshon Judkins, whatever his name. Quinshon Judkins for the Browns. He is activated. He might, there's still a possibility that he gets suspended, but he hasn't been convicted of anything, so he would be the guy to do. It's still going to be kind of a mess for the Browns. I still suggest going and getting what's his name? If I have, Dylan Sampson is on the same team. He probably is going to be the pass catching back for the Browns, but Quinshon has the skill and should be the one to go out and get if he's still out there. Both him and Dylan are probably not out there, but just in case, I told everybody to get Bashal Tutson. Man, these names. Bashal Tutson. Bashal Tutin. He is the backup for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he actually had a huge weekend on my bench in many places, but he's still out on various waiver wires, especially if it's a big league, or I'm sorry, a small league. If you only have 10 or less teams on in your league. But the one that you want to go out and get that will be out there is Cam Scattaboo. We've got Quinshon Judkins, Bashal Tutin, and Cam Scattaboo. What is with these names? But Cam for the Giants is a hoss. And if you saw anything of the Giants running back play this weekend, you saw him bulldoze some people. I wouldn't say he's got a lot of juking ability, but he has some trucking ability. And I tell you what, I have liked him since the preseason. I have him in many leagues, and I encourage you to go out and get him. If he is on the waiver wire, I would spend 20 or more % of my waiver wire budget on him. I would go out and get him if I had priority. Honorable mentions, Jake Corum, especially if you have Williams. What's his name? Tyron Williams. If you have to go get, he had a touchdown and a lot of yards this weekend, and got about 12 fantasy points depending on your scoring system. All right, and was there anybody? If Benson is still on your waiver wire, grab him for the Cardinals. Blake Corum was from the Rams, and he is the backup for Williams. I think his name is Tyron Williams. Now, for wide receivers, the guy to go get is Troy Franklin. And I put their pictures up because these are the pictures that are on, you're going to see on their waiver wire. And Troy Franklin is somebody I actually saw on the Football Guys. One of them has a little bit of inside information, and he saw that there was somebody, I forget what it was, but he mentioned Troy Franklin for Denver and said that he probably is going to start to step up. This is his second year, and he actually did this weekend. He is the second receiver out there and someone to go get if you need a wide receiver. I would spend about, if you need a wide receiver, spend about 15%, but 13%, maybe even 10%. I mean, it keeps going lower because wide receivers are pretty easy to get. Another guy to get, my favorite, because I am a Green Bay fan, is Romeo Doubs. He has really shown to be I guess you could say the number one receiver for Love right now. Of course, Golden is the standout rookie, probably more effective and more skilled not effective at this point, but more skilled than Romeo. But Romeo's getting the looks and touchdowns, as it were. Wandale. I think I may have mentioned Wandale last week. Wandale is the second wide receiver and getting a ton of passes from Wilson right now, and definitely somebody to pick up. This would be a 10 to 13% of your this. If you need a wide receiver, go out and get this guy, get 15%. But Wandale might be somebody to just put on your bench and see how he does. Pretty soon, we're going to get some pretty terrible bye weeks where a lot of teams are going to be on bye. You're going to need a wide receiver. These two guys are who you're going to want to have on your bench for when bye weeks start. Tillman for the Browns. If you haven't gotten Tillman yet, go out and get Tillman if he is still on the waiver wire. All right, now, last but not least is tight ends. I told you guys to get Zach Ertz last week, and this past weekend, he really showed out. Now, with Daniels being a little banged up, will that hurt? I don't know. Typically, when QBs are sort of needing a security blanket, they go to their short passing, not wide receiver, but receivers, and tight ends tend to be right there. And a little slant route, getting open. I would say if he's still on your waiver wire, definitely go get him. He is a touchdown machine right now. He may even be the number one tight end in the league as far as scoring. Harold Harron, if he's still on your waiver wire, seems to be continuing with his. I think he had at least seven targets again this last weekend. May have had a touchdown I didn't see. But the last one to talk about is Isaiah Likely. He is likely on your waiver wire, and because he's injured. But he will be coming back, I think, next week. This should have been in the injury report. Likely is... Let me see. Let's see if there's any information. That's your Ravens. I do believe he is scheduled to come back this next week. But I'm not positive, so I want to just look. I don't see anything. It says maybe. I am seeing some. It looks like he might be back for week 3. So he would be somebody that I like because Mark Andrews, who I thought would be the major tight end for the Ravens, has not been doing squat, and he has health problems. And I guess as you get older, health problems become an issue. So I'm talking about Mark Andrews. So Isaiah Likely to take his spot and go back to somebody. If you remember last year in week 1, he exploded, but then Mark took over. I believe that Likely would be a good pickup. Okay, we do have some honorable mentions. Let me see if I missed anybody. If there was somebody that I missed that you would like to pick up, please put it in the comment section. If you have any start-sit questions, go ahead and put it in the comment sections. Wide receivers. Yeah. All right. And then real quick, you might want to consider cutting Caleb Johnson, rookie. He ain't going to do anything for a while. Forget about it. And unfortunately, Warren ahead of him is getting all the touches and all the production. Unless he gets injured, I wouldn't worry about Caleb Johnson. I think they have a bye next week anyway. Not next week, not week 3, but week 4. So even if you picked him up for 1 week, then you'd have to do something with him for Caleb Johnson's bye week. That's why I would consider just dropping him or leaving him on the waiver wire. That's Caleb Johnson for Pittsburgh. Xavier Legette's not doing anything for wide receivers. Neither is Adam Thielen. No, Adam Thielen, I would keep an eye out. Mark Andrews, I am dropping him with a quickness. He is for Baltimore. He is a tight end. We're going down to tight ends. Evan Ingram, always hurt. You heard AJ Herschel talk about him. Drop him with a quickness. And Loveland, everybody thought Loveland was going to be the standout rookie tight end this year. Hasn't done diddly. Get rid of him. Low targets. He's averaging like 3 targets, maybe. And Odunze is the guy to have there. Oh, speaking of Odunze, the backup for Swift. That's one guy I forget. You guys missed that. You should have put that in the comment section. But Bears depth chart. And don't forget to always check your depth chart. We've got a stinger for that. Where is it? Be aware of who the backups are, as I did forget that Kyle Manunge, maybe it's because of his name, Kyle Manunge, I don't have a picture of him, but look for the backup for DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is not, he's a skilled player, but he's not the kind of bulldozer that Cam Scattaboo is on the Giants. No, he's more of a juker, scat back, running back, and he always gets hurt. I'm talking about Swift for the Bears. So Manunge is somebody to go out and get. Kyle Manunge. He is a bruiser. And mark my words, will start getting more and more production as time goes on. Okay, we do have some comments. I am 0-2. I feel you. I have a couple of leagues where I'm 0-2. In a 2-quarterback league, those are hard. Oh, I already read that one. Merritt is a running back. Merritt. Yes. So you need, let's see, let's go back to what you're saying. Oh, Merrick Browning and Waverwire. Merritt Browning. I don't even know who Merritt Browning is. Let me look him up. Merritt Browning. You're looking for, I'm sorry. I do not know any Merritt Browning. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about this running back, Merritt Browning. But, I see what you're saying. Merritt is in Bill. Yes, I would pick up pick up Bill as soon as possible. I see. It was a lack of commas. My fault. Sorry. So in that order, I would pick up Browning because you need a quarterback, you said, right? A 2-quarterback league. Grab. You have Daniels with Purdy out. Yeah. With Purdy out, I would definitely grab Browning. I think he's going to be, especially this next coming up week. I think they're playing Minnesota. He's going to be excellent. After that, it gets a little harder, especially against the Packers. And then I think it is the Denver Nuggets, the Denver Broncos. Those are like two of the best defenses against QBs and wide receivers in particular. So as far as ranking them, definitely Merritt, Browning. I wouldn't even worry about Mac Jones. Maybe if you're desperate, if you don't get Browning, sure, pick up Mac Jones. But yeah, Merritt is an excellent pickup because he's going to be the main running back for Washington. Now he's still on your waiver wire because he hasn't done anything up until now because I've already forgotten. Because of because who was it that was? Oh, Eckler. Sorry. Brain fart. Because Eckler's out. for the year. Merritt is going to be the main running back. And you know what? I think with Daniels hurting, I think it may be a lot more dump offs to the running back. Well, it's been half an hour. I only meant to do about 15 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate you tuning in. The Smitty, and we got one more, and then I'll traded Ibuka for BTJ. I'm Brian Thomas Jr. This morning, I still believe in the player BTJ. I think that was a tough trade. If you still believe in BTJ, he's injured, by the way. I think he has like a shoulder or something. I forgot to put that in the injury notes. It kind of cropped up later on as kind of an excuse for why he wasn't catching some of these balls that he should have been catching. I think the team is a little bit of a mess, but I think you're right. Actually, this might be one of those teams, Jacksonville Jaguars, that starts to really come on as the season goes on. And I mean, to your point, in your defense for getting rid of Egbuka, who is like getting 14 fantasy points a weekend. I mean, who's coming back? Godwin's coming back maybe next week, maybe week 4. So he might start taking some of those targets away from Egbuka. I don't think so. I think Egbuka is going to continue to really shine. But I really appreciate you tuning in, RS German. And with that, the Smitty, I will sign off. Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Talk to you guys later.